Morning, KOS-MOS. How do you feel?
Good morning, Xian. All systems are normal.
Well, how about introducing yourself?
I am an anti-Gnosis humanoid fighting system, serial number 00000001. Development name KPX, abbreviated name KOS-MOS. As I am currently configured for simulated battle, my output is limited to 22% of its normal capacity. My estimated weapons specifications are...
All right, that's good enough. Thanks.
You are welcome.
If Monolith Soft had a mascot, it would be KOS-MOS. I feel like that's almost indisputable at this point. I guess an argument could be made for their Twitter mascot, Monopon, but you forgot she even existed until now, or just simply didn't know about her. Since the beginning, KOS-MOS has been the face of Monolith. There she is, front and center on the 20th anniversary art. She's also on this newer art piece they put on their website, alongside Rex, Elma, and Shulk, closest to the camera. She also made an appearance in a little old game called Xenoblade 2. Almost 2 decades after her creation, KOS-MOS is still relevant to the Xeno series, but she's appeared in even more than that. She's crossed over into more than 20 other games, a number of which you may or may not know about. Some of this information is essentially unknown in the English-speaking community, until now. Before we get started, I want to give a huge thanks to both Watt and Bleshu. The two of them helped me research many of these games at length and gather footage. This video would not have been possible without them. I've put their social media links in the description. I'm sure they'd appreciate it if you guys headed over and dropped some follows. With that, let's get started. If you're only aware of KOS-MOS' existence in Xenoblade 2, don't worry, here's a quick rundown. After Xenogears didn't exactly go as planned over at Squaresoft, a number of employees left the company to form their own. Their goal was to create a spiritual successor, and thus, the Xenosaga series was born. The games revolve around Shion Uzuki, the chief engineer of the KOS-MOS project, who builds her to combat the Gnosis. Gnosis are a mysterious race of beings that have the ability to phase in and out of physical space at will. KOS-MOS appears in every piece of Xenosaga media, except for Xenosaga Pied Piper, but that's because that game takes place 100 years before she was even built. In every other game in the series, KOS-MOS acts as one of the main characters. She also appears in the Xenosaga animation and manga, both of which cover the events of Xenosaga Episode 1, albeit with slight alterations. While the Xenosaga series was in production, Monolith was eager to include her in other games they worked on. So KOS-MOS popped up in Baten Kaitos, Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean, and Namco X Capcom. Baten Kaitos was Monolith's second game and featured a card-based battle system. The cards, called Magnus, weren't just actions you could perform, they were real items. They ranged from armor to bananas to shampoo and... KOS-MOS? Yep, KOS-MOS version 1 is a card in this game. Though, ironically, she doesn't actually do anything in battle. Her Magnus, which is called Rare Action Figure, is a type of collectible Magnus that's involved in a side quest. There's also an enemy called Gnosis in this game that has lore just like the Gnosis from Xenosaga. It's kinda funny looking too. Namco X Capcom is a Japan-exclusive tactical RPG that, like the name suggests, crosses over many Namco and Capcom series. So if you ever wanted Klonoa and Mega Man to hang out, this is your game. The gameplay follows the basic tactical RPG formula on the map, but when battles start, pressing the proper buttons with the right timings can give you more favorable outcomes. Characters are either solo like KOS-MOS, or paired up like Shion and Momo. Certain units can also perform multiple assaults when together, and KOS-MOS is no different. Along with Momo and Shion, she can use Duo Buster, which is a supercharged version of KOS-MOS' signature attack, X-Buster. The story follows Reiji and Xiaomu, two original characters created for the game, who are operatives of Shinra. No, not that Shinra. No, not that one either. Also, not this one. This Shinra. Reiji and Xiaomu are basically called in by Shinra to deal with these interdimensional rifts that keep popping up all over the place, which really aren't good for anyone. Crossover hijinks ensue, and I'm sure you could fill in the rest. Like I said previously, this game is a Japan exclusive, but if you do want to play it, there is an English fan translation for it. Also, while Xenosaga was in development, she made a guest appearance in Soul Calibur 3. In the Create a Soul feature, if you make a female custom character with the Type X armor pieces, you'll be able to play as KOS-MOS. Well, sort of KOS-MOS. It's mostly just a costume, but it's still her. Tekken 6 also contains some references to Xenosaga. At the beginning of the Scenario campaign, there's a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche, Jenseits von Gut und Böse. This quote is also part of Xenosaga Episode 2's subtitle. Elisa Boskanovich is an android herself, and it's possible that her character takes direct inspiration from KOS-MOS, based on some of the cutscenes in the campaign. In the character customization menu, you're able to edit her costume to make something eerily similar to KOS-MOS version 3. If we fast forward a few years, KOS-MOS appears as another costume in another fighting game. Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha A's Portable, The Gears of Destiny, is a video game based on the anime Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha. From what I can tell, it just seems to be a fairly harmless anime fighter. The character Reinforce has an alternate unlockable costume for KOS-MOS. A few other Namco characters like Klonoa and the Prince from Katamari also have costumes. Even though Xenosaga 3 wrapped up the trilogy in 2006, Monolith still wasn't done with KOS-MOS yet. In 2008, Super Robot Tyson OG Saga Endless Frontier was released. This game had KOS-MOS acting as the main character, and sporting her version 4 build. If I'm understanding the plot correctly, the events of this game take place during Xenosaga 3, although they're definitely not canon. While KOS-MOS is being upgraded to version 4, her pod teleports to the Endless Frontier, which is a sort of hub for cross-dimensional travel. Telos is also there, for some reason, and acts as an antagonist to the party several times. Reiji and Xiaomu are here too, and their inclusion has to do with the dimension hopping that's in line with their job descriptions. The gameplay is fairly similar to Namco Cross Capcom as well, so nothing new to cover there. KOS-MOS is also in the sequel, Super Robot Tyson OG Saga Endless Frontier Exceed. Good lord, why are all these titles so long? This game, unlike its predecessor, is only available in Japan. But fear not, there is a fan translation. Reiji, Xiaomu, Telos, and Momo all appear as allies too, because in a game about interdimensional travel, why not just add whoever you want? Speaking of interdimensional travel and adding whoever you want, we need to talk about Project Cross Zone. Project Cross Zone is extremely cool. It's pretty much just Namco cross Capcom, but on drugs. And it doesn't only contain Namco and Capcom characters, but Sega characters join the fray this time. And wouldn't you know it, KOS-MOS as well as Telos are playable. If you haven't been able to tell, I really like this game. It's honestly one of my favorite games on the 3DS, and I don't hear people talk about it that much, so I'm gonna take my chance and do that now. The mechanics of the game are mostly similar to Namco Cross Capcom and the Endless Frontier games. This time, all characters are either paired up with one another like KOS-MOS and Telos or Ken and Ryu, or they fly solo and can be equipped to a pair as a support like Valkyrie or Arthur. The small optimizations Monolith made to the battle system really speed things up compared to previous entries as well. The graphics have also improved considerably, and the sprite work is super clean and the effects look amazing. The story seems to pick up a little bit after the Endless Frontier games left off. The protagonists this time are Kogoro and Mii. No, not me. Me. Not that one. This one. Wait, no, not that one. Yes, this one. The two of them are on some sort of mission, and then a wormhole opens up in a fountain, and blammo! You've got another crossover game. Reiji and Xiaomu are also in this game too, so that might matter if they've made enough of an impression on any of you yet. Oh yeah, that's right. They're the main characters of Project Cross Zone 2. KOS-MOS returns for this game, but she's paired up with Mecha Fiora from Xenoblade 1, which is a super cool idea. The story explanation for Fiora being here is that she walked into the teleporter to the Mainith Shrine, but instead got teleported to the floating continent from Xenosaga 3. Yeah, still not canon. Telos is back as well, but this time she's only an enemy, and makes friends with freaking Metalface, who should be dead, but whatever. The second game adds several new characters while unfortunately removing others. This time around, we got Nintendo characters like Chrom, Lucina, and Tiki from Fire Emblem Awakening, in addition to Fiora. If they made a third game, it'd be really cool if they added even more companies like Atlus or Konami. Project Cross Zone 2 is more of the same, but has more polish and quality of life improvements. It continues the story from the first game as well, so if that's what you're looking for, go for it. In my opinion, the plot of these games is just okay. They do what they need to for a crossover. What I'm here for are the character interactions. Phoenix Wright has to work with literal Yakuza, and Frank West, who spends a lot of time killing zombies, is partnered with Lele, who's a zombie herself. Even weirder is when you see characters like Tron Bonne somehow know all about Xenosaga lore. It's so surreal to see her name drop the Pilgrimage Fleet. Alright, I think I'm done gushing now. Give these games a try. One of Namco's most popular series is the Tales series. No, not Trails. Tales. No, we're not doing this joke again. Sorry. KOS-MOS herself only appears in one Tales game, and that's Tales of Hearts on the DS. She's not in the remake Tales of Hearts R from what I understand. In the original, you can summon KOS-MOS, and she can perform R-Cannon and G-Shot. Other Namco characters are available as summons as well, like Heihachi from Tekken, and Anise from Tales of Abyss, who's able to use X-Buster. In Abyss, Anise has a stuffed animal that you can equip KOS-MOS's visor on, and it comes with X-Buster, so I guess it's a reference to that. I've also heard reports she can use that attack in the now discontinued Tales of Link mobile game, but I've never found any hard evidence. Just a side note, sometimes X-Buster is called Cross-Buster, so for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna call it X-Buster every time. Moving on, Tales of the World Radiant Mythology 3's Gunman class has X-Buster as an art. X-Buster is usable in Tales of Xillia 2 as well, as a link art between Alvin and Ludgar. Tales of the World Nirikiri Dungeon 3 has a KOS-MOS costume like Abyss does, but this one literally just turns your sprite into KOS-MOS and lets you use some of her attacks. Tales of Vesperia and its remake both have a KOS-MOS costume for the character Judith that's based on her version 1 appearance, as well as some enemies that can use X-Buster. In Tales of Destiny on the PS2, you can fight an enemy called Gentleman, one of which is wearing KOS-MOS's visor. Gentlemen are a reoccurring enemy in the series, and they're super weird and lanky. In Destiny, they chose to make several Gentleman enemies into Namco cameos. In the newest game, Tales of Arise, there's a collectible artifact called Mechanical Doll Accessory, which is KOS-MOS's visor.
どうしたら上手くなれるかな。あ、父ちゃん。
それならはっ山桃とさあファミサで特訓だ。
And now here's the series I clickbaited most of you with. Family Stadium, also known as Famista, is a series of baseball games developed by Namco and released only in Japan. The games feature real baseball players and teams, but Namco wanted to have a little fun. They created their own baseball team, the Namco Stars, also known as the N Team. This team is composed entirely of Namco characters or Namco references. And yep, KOS-MOS is on it. In fact, after a few appearances, she became the team's ace pitcher. Before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to Robara Zeno and Wadasaza on Twitter. Robara was able to connect me with Wadasaza, who has documented insane amounts of content about KOS-MOS and Family Stadium. Without them, this information might have been lost to time forever, so huge thanks to them both. According to Wadasaza, the first time KOS-MOS pops up in these games is Netsuchu Pro Baseball 2006 for the PS2. There's a mode in this game that allows you to play in what looks to be a recreation of one of the NES games. Unfortunately, because this mode is just like the NES game, all the characters are just the same sprite. The 2007 edition, however, has a fully rendered 3D model for KOS-MOS. And she's a man. Since every other player in the game has a male model, KOS-MOS has one as well. An interesting piece of trivia is that her player number is 13 in these games. Without spoiling too much, it's a cute reference for her to be 13. The 2008 edition for the Wii also has KOS-MOS, but it seems to be her name only. She returns in Famista DS, Famista DS 2009, and Famista DS 2010. And her design lines up with the unique art style from these games. If you're playing against the stronger variation of the Namco Stars, she gets a dark alt, which Wadasaza says reminds them of Telos a little. Famista Online, which was a PC game active from 2008 to 2014, brings our lovable android back. This description says that her fastball speed is unmatched and that she's very calm. There are also rumors that she's an android. Oh gosh, I never realized. Albedo also appears in this game. His description is, "Who the hell is he? A mysterious existence that does not reveal his private life to his teammates. I wonder if he has a sad past." I think it's the "who the hell is he" that really brings this together. Next is Famista 2011 on the 3DS. The character art this time around has taken a huge step up, and Shion has joined the N Team as a shortstop. She's there for KOS-MOS even when playing baseball. She provides support in the position that plays directly behind the pitcher. There are actually two Namco teams in this game. The Namco Stars is reserved for newer Namco characters like KOS-MOS, and the Namco Legends have legacy characters like Pac-Man. Moving on to KOS-MOS's most recent baseball outing, we have Famista Dream Match. Dream Match was a mobile game that ran from 2014 to 2016 that featured tons of Namco characters. You may have seen this art of Shion and KOS-MOS floating around from this game. The most intriguing part of Dream Match is the fact that it was a gacha game, in the same vein as Fire Emblem Heroes or Fate Grand Order. According to Wadasaza, Shion was a 4-star event character, and KOS-MOS was a 5-star character you had to pull for. Apparently, KOS-MOS was added to Dream Match on the same day Xenoblade X launched in Japan as a cross-promotion. There was also a special event available in celebration of Xenosaga Episode 1's anniversary, where you could play against her team. And that's it for Famista. Unfortunately, KOS-MOS hasn't returned to the pitcher's mound since. Hopefully she will again, because these baseball renders are clean. One last thing before I move on, Wadasaza pointed out to me early on in Famista, KOS-MOS has blue eyes, but in later installments they become red. In the games where her eyes are red, she goes from being left-handed to being right-handed. Pretty interesting detail. I had no clue where to include these games in the video because they're outliers, so I'm just gonna put them here. Venus and Braves is a Japan-exclusive RPG for the PS2 and PSP. It has an interesting mechanic where the main character is immortal, and the other characters you travel with age over time. Characters can perform better or worse in battle based on how old they are. I thought that was a super cool idea. Anyway, there's a part of the game where KO-S-MOS just shows up. She talks with the party for a little bit, and then leaves. Yeah, that's it. Next is Yumeria, which is a manga and visual novel series. You guessed it, only available in Japan. KO-S-MOS doesn't appear in the game, but one of the characters from the game, Monet, is dressed up as her in this desktop wallpaper. I've struggled finding the source of this image to try and confirm whether or not it's official, but the copyright info is on the bottom of the wallpaper, so I guess that's enough? Although anyone could make fan art and slap that there, so who knows. I just put it on the list to be safe. Last, but certainly not least, is Xenoblade 2. I mentioned it earlier, but KO-S-MOS is in Xenoblade 2. I know, right? Crazy. You know who else is there? Telos. Doubly crazy. Both of them have redesigns in this game called KO-S-MOS Re and Telos Re. The Re stands for refrain. This particular design also got a really well-made figure from Good Smile. You may know another set of Xenoblade figures they did from the Sakurai Presents Pyra and Mithra stream. KO-S-MOS is probably the most infamous blade in Xenoblade 2 because she's the rarest by far, with a less than 0.1% drop rate regardless of what blade group you get sorted into on file creation. If you do manage to get her though, she's a very powerful ether cannon blade, and one of the few options you have other than Mithra to use a light blade. Alright, that is every appearance KO-S-MOS has had that I'm aware of. It's pretty crazy how she's been in more games outside the Xeno series than in it. That may change though. If the way that Xenoblade's story is shaping up is any indication, I don't think Xenoblade 2 or Tales of Arise is the last we'll see of her. As long as people and the universe desire it, she will continue to exist. After all, she hasn't finished what she needs to do yet. Thanks for watching.
Adito